today my friend Vlad Robinson is joining us, and I'm so glad you're here, Vlad. Tell us just a little bit about yourself, maybe what you like to spend your days doing, and what makes you smile, who you spend them with, things like that, just so we can get to know you a little better.
Hi everyone, my name is Vlad. I like to work with some wood. Woodworking is my favorite thing to do. Also, I love to help with the kids at Love Church. I enjoy being around kids. It's pretty much my joy in life. Yeah, and just like to work a lot as well. So.
Well, and for those who don't know, Vlad and I first connected through our church. And so it's neat to hear just your love for children and serving in the children's ministry. And many may not know, but you're an avid rock climber. So I know you also play soccer. And this year, Will has looped me into a soccer league. And so it's my first time playing indoor soccer, and oh my goodness, it was intimidating to say the least. But especially the goalie, just being prepared to be hit. I'm like, I don't know. I have a whole new respect for soccer players and the control that they have with their, with the ball. Oh my goodness. But I was also thinking we're going to have to get a group together and go rock climbing sometime. Because I've seen your posts on social media and it's quite impressive. So
Yeah.
how did all that start for you?
I don't know. One time we just my parents took me there. No,
Mm-hmm.
I started climbing and I just got into it, and now it's my favorite thing to do. I enjoy every part of it. Just go there and spend time with my friends and just climb those walls.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really really fun for me. Um, yeah.
And it's a great workout too. I think just like one
Oh,
hour and my arms are just jello.
it's definitely keep me in shape, and I don't have to go to gym or anything. I just
Mhm.
had to go to
Yeah.
uh climbing gym.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And you're talking about woodworking. What are some pieces that you've built or you've made?
I just do for fun for myself. I don't know. I have my box over here, but I don't know if it's just something like, if I find a picture of something, I just copy to my wood and go and burn with this stick.
Oh wow. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So very
yeah,
detailed woodworking.
yeah. And I've been into that since I was I think like 11. And every time when I have like idea of something, or just go sit down and do something
Yeah.
with the woodworking machine. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, right now we're in this Welcome to the Family series on the podcast, and it's been neat. Kind of like I was saying before we even pushed recording, it's been neat in the previous years to hear from families who have adopted or welcomed kids into their home through foster care. But this year we're getting to actually hear from the other perspective. And I'm so thankful for you being willing to share your story and with us and how God has worked in your life through adoption. And so if you don't mind, can you just take us back to those early days and when you were adopted and just tell us what that was like?
yes, so I've been in the United States for 7 years. Um, Before I was in Ukraine, living in an orphanage, and I got really amazing opportunity to be adopted through this organization that would come to orphanage and spend time a little bit with us. And in 2014, we basically came to United States just for a few months, just to visit and see how it is here,
Yeah.
just experience something new. And we stayed with the family, and family was just so amazing. And that's how we got connected to my family, and we loved everything about it. And I think I started talking about that I always wanted to be adopted.
Mm-hmm.
my parents start talking back that they would love to adopt us. That's how everything started, and they start working on paperwork, and I think took a year for them to do it. Um, but of course, I honestly didn't believe that it was gonna happen because it was taking forever. Because
Right.
we went back to Ukraine for a year after we became a host here.
Okay.
So I I didn't believe that it's gonna happen, and everyone in orphanage was encouraging that this is not true. It's not gonna happen. Yeah, but it happened. My parents came a year later, and I think they stayed with us for I think 2-3 months. Just keep working on the paperwork.
Hmm.
We were with my dad most of the time in capital.
Hmm.
We didn't know what he was doing, but we were with him and
Yeah.
spending good time. But yeah, that's how everything started.
Yeah. And what age were you when this was happening?
I was 17,
Okay. Okay. And
so it
so, yeah. So what was that, you know, what was that like? Because you had a lot of friends, I would assume. And so then like moving, you were leaving a life behind too, but also excited and looking forward to the next. What did that transition look like? And
honestly, I think it was um biggest thing for me because I was like going crazy that I was missing my friends, and it was really hard leaving everything behind and coming into new culture, and it was definitely hard. I didn't know what to do. Like first year, it's like it was so hard. Like I could not find like anything that I can do. I always be upset because I'm missing my friends. I'm missing my food. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, food was also main thing that I was missing. But yeah, um, and also there was no English when I came here.
Mm.
Communication was really difficult through Google Translator because at that point Google Translator was not really good. Now it's
Yeah,
way
right.
better,
Yeah.
and it was just a lot of misunderstanding, and
Hmm.
I was just struggling. It was really because I didn't know any English. But yeah, I was missing friends. I was missing my food. I want to go home. I was just going crazy.
Yeah. Now,
So
did you in 17, were you finished with high school? Did you move here and finish high school? And then what did that look like?
so I finished high school in Ukraine,
Okay.
but because I didn't have any English, I
Mm-hmm.
had to take high school again, which is awesome because I did homeschool,
Yeah.
and we would meet every Tuesday, I believe.
Okay.
Uh, and that's how I made my friends here.
Mm.
And my friends would come and stay with me at my house, like help me learn English, and you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty difficult.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, what do you know what was on your parents' heart? Like what led them to know like they wanted to adopt? Because adoption is you see it more common with littles, and so I think it's really neat that they were intentional. And so do you know how they shared that with you about their story and what kind of led them to adoption?
Um, well, according to my mom and dad, they've been wanting to adopt for a long time, and
Mhm.
it's been on their heart for like a long time. And when we came to just to visit them
Mhm.
um, in 2014, mom mom would not talk about it, but the system was telling like the organization.
Mhm.
They say like if we start talking during that time period about adoption, they can start talking back. But if I didn't say anything or my brothers didn't say anything, they can't start talking about adoption. And so I said something, and my mom start talking about it, and she told me that it's been always on her mind. And so when we left, I would just pray crazy. I don't know what I'm doing because I was not a believer at that point,
Okay.
but I was praying just like hoping that it's true. And when we came back, uh, mom would say like things that I never shared to anyone, but she knew like what I was praying about.
Mm.
And like for me, it was like so crazy because like I like how I was by myself over there like in a bush somewhere like praying, and she told me everything like what I was praying. Like for me, it was so crazy. But back to point, like my parents like always prayed about it, and they I guess heard that call when we came during that summer,
Yeah.
and they say, okay, this is it.
Yeah.
Because I think mom was debating for a long time and praying, but God just she said told her, this is the boys that you need to adopt,
Yeah.
and yeah, they just did it.
Wow. And
Yeah.
how old are your brothers?
So my at that point or right now.
At that point. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So my middle brother was 13 and my youngest was 11
Okay.
or 14 and 12.
Okay.
I
Yes.
really
Here. Yes. Good feedback. Okay. And so their transition looked a little bit different because then they got immersed into did y'all do homeschool for them?
yes, we all did homeschool.
Okay.
Um, Yeah, I think for youngest one was like probably easiest one
Mm-hmm.
because he kind of was young enough to
Mm-hmm.
start over.
Yeah.
But
Right.
for me and my middle brother, we were like a little bit, too old and kind
Mm-hmm.
of like really hard to adapt new culture.
Yeah.
And it was just so hard because there's just so many things like you just in the country that you don't know about it, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a big mess.
Right. Were there ever times where just the frustration just kind of surmounted in like in anger or just, needing time alone? Or how did you process that? And
Oh yeah,
I know there
there's
might be some families that are listening and thinking, they've considered adoption, and even overseas. And so what might they need to expect and help to understand what you might be going through?
it was definitely like hard time, and always frustration, always anger, and like I just didn't know what to do. Like
Mhm.
and I think main thing what pushed me through everything is that I just got like start thinking about like, hey, if I go through this in a couple of years, my life would be way better than what I had in orphanage, or way better what I had in Ukraine.
Mhm.
And that idea just pushed me through, and I got self control, and I just did everything what my parents were telling me. Like before that, I would like, my parents tell me like, okay, it's your turn to do dishes. And I would get so mad because I never done that before. Like
Mhm.
I would do it, but like with anger and anything like that, like do the floors, do the like, and they told us before they adopted us, like there's gonna be a lot more chores, a lot more things to do. Like it's not like you're not gonna do anything.
Mhm.
And we agreed to everything of that, but then we came here, it was gonna get like so annoying, so frustrated, like because we've never experienced anything like that. That
Yeah.
someone is ruling, and yeah, main thing is just help me go through that. It's just I got self control, and I start thinking like for my future.